Dan Wuzun, the King of Fists, is a title bestowed upon the man who subdued the Jianchu using nothing but his bare fists, a man known more by that title than by his own name. Ambushed by a mysterious group, he now faces the last two who remain to take him down. Both seem highly skilled. Where did these wretches come from? Suddenly, as if his very soul had a will of its own, it surges into his hand, and with his sword he fells one of those present. Impressive, until he realizes he has cut down his own ally without hesitation. A dirty fighter! The mark on that sword and such cruelty confirm it. These two are of the demonic faction. They are impressed that the King of Fists has endured so long and concede he truly deserves his title, but he silences them. He has no interest in praise from such vermin, and declares he will finish this in just 10 strikes. Arrogant, the enemy spits, demanding he stop talking. They'll see how long that arrogance lasts once they cover him in wounds. The King of Fists moves with astonishing speed, slipping past every blow. After evading, he lands a punch and smashes the opponent into the wall. Fast as ever, he begins to count. 1, then charges his fist again and strikes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in rapid succession. Yet as he attacks, he senses something is wrong. Every blow is missing the weakest points. He has already delivered the 7th and the 8th, but it feels as if something is holding him back. Then he sees it, and cannot tell when that bastard managed to do such a thing. But the moment he is stopped, a blade runs him through. He cannot believe it. Is this the end of the reign of the King of Fists? What they do not know is that by sheer force of will, he still has strength to fight. Knowing he is in danger, he hurls himself forward with all his might. But this time he fails, and a slash is carved across his face. He fights well indeed. Had that last attack landed fully, the foe would not have survived. It could have been truly dangerous. But now, since the King of Fists is going to die, they begin to mock his fallen body, until, with a single uppercut to the lower jaw, he makes the man spit blood. The 10th strike. His strength drains from his body. He assumes this is the end of his life as the King of Fists. What a pity. If only he could have struck just once more. The King of Fists, Dan Wuzun, has fallen at the hands of the demonic faction. Meanwhile, from Huahua Mountain to a safe house, someone awakens. A young woman is delighted and wants to know where he is, whether anyone treated him, and what happened. His head throbs with pain, yet there are no wounds. She addresses him as the first young master and offers him some water. Of course he accepts, but he does not understand why she calls him that. Seeing his face, he does not recognize the haggard person before him and immediately spits the water out. Who put this strange mask on my face? Yet there is no seam where a mask should end. This is no mask. This is his real body. The girl runs to fetch the doctor as he slaps his cheeks in confusion. Outside, she knows he is acting especially strange, but it cannot have been the demonic faction. If they could do something like this, they would already have seized Haiyangju. So who is this person? He'll have to figure it out, but trying to stand is like Bambi learning to walk. This body is complete trash. He feels like a fawn and, after struggling, barely manages to sit. He spots the Yunjia Merchant Group. He has heard that name before. It is a great merchant house near Jiuhua Mountain. Surely important, if he has heard of them without any dealings with merchants or trade. The owner of this body is the eldest son, Li Jinyong. Every letter addressed to him is about money, gambling, and women. What a pathetic failure. That is all he can glean from these letters. This is neither sorcery nor a mask. He senses no strange energy in the body. It cannot be reincarnation either. He does not believe it, and he must have lost his mind. At that moment, someone calls for the first young master, anxious to know if he is all right. The man is Gong Soo-myung, physician to Li Jinyong. He does not know who on earth this person is, but the doctor says he was told something was wrong and had no idea how worried he'd become. Hearing that all is well, he is relieved. He has prepared the usual meal, chicken soup, excellent for revitalizing the body. But he scowls. This chicken soup, known as dragon and phoenix soup, may be excellent for the healthy, yet for someone as weak as Li Jinyong, it is the equivalent of poison. The doctor even tries to take his pulse in secret. Surely he thought it odd that Li Jinyong now looks healthy. Behind his false smile, the doctor wishes him to drink the soup regularly, to become as healthy as the young warriors who compete in the Dragon and Phoenix Martial Tournament. He asks how many years that tournament has been held, and the reply is uncertain, perhaps around 200. So, the 200th tournament is about to be celebrated. He says he has little appetite and wants the soup left there. He tells the doctor to leave, that he wishes to sleep and not be disturbed. As the man is escorted out, he remains deep in thought. If the 200th Dragon and Phoenix tournament is just about to be held, then not much time has passed since his death. That is good. It means the demonic faction should still be alive as well. There is also that snake-faced doctor. He is surrounded by people who deserve a beating. They need not worry. This time, he will eliminate them all with a single punch. We return to the young women, who are surprised. He is eating again. Before, he only ate meaningless things, but now he eats with real appetite. He must be nearly done with his morning walk. He asks the maid if breakfast is prepared. Since it is ready, he declares that from now on, breakfast should always be this simple. They can hardly believe it. He truly seems healthier. As he sits to eat, someone calls for him. Opening the door, it is the family doctor. How rude. Seeing him crawl so low, he still cannot understand why this little rat dares to act this way. He asks what brings Dr. Gong Soo-myung here. The doctor looks deeply worried, saying he had no word from him and could not bear the loneliness, so he came. He notes that his complexion is entirely different now, as though all his previous efforts have gone to waste. What efforts? Perhaps his attempts to seduce him with the dragon and phoenix soup. The doctor is shocked, claiming there has been a misunderstanding. The soup is a nourishing tonic, not poison. He cannot believe it. How could his personal physician think so? If he is not welcome, then he will leave. But before he goes, he calls the doctor back. You came here uninvited, and now you say you will leave without being told. Who is the master here? You or me? This makes the doctor nervous, though he tries to laugh it off as a joke. The protagonist demands a letter be written. He orders the doctor to bring writing tools from the desk and prepare to write as he dictates. The letter reads, "Due to the grave illness of Lord Lee Ji-hyun, I must remain at the villa for some time. Since my life is so stubbornly long, please advise me on what I should do next." The doctor hesitates, confused, and asks what he means. But in that moment, the protagonist flicks a chopstick, nicking his neck slightly. He tells the old man, "I am no longer the fool I once was." The doctor does not understand what is happening. First of all, the dragon and phoenix soup may be a tonic for the healthy, but for someone as sick as me, it is no better than poison. You are a doctor. You should know that. Did you think I would not notice you secretly taking my pulse? When I did not die, you were so surprised. And most importantly, I had no appetite. I left the tonic aside, yet all of you had to leave the room. You could not even hide your intent to eliminate me once I rejected it. Clearly, you are not acting alone. Now, write down the name of the one who ordered you." The doctor protests, weeping, saying there must be some mistake. How could he suspect such a kind man? But the protagonist's cold gaze does not change. Even a shameless man like him still has a conscience, and at last he reveals his true face. The protagonist had been willing to let him go with dignity. What a fool he was. Now there is no other choice. If necessary, he will silence all the servants and cut them down to the last. The doctor intends to strike first, to eliminate protagonist, but with a swift blow, he is sent crashing to the floor. The protagonist knows he must not be distracted, not even while speaking. He must never take his eyes off the enemy. This body is truly miserable, racked with pain, and after such a strike, he must quickly recover his strength. Once he does, it will not matter if the mastermind is the entire Unja merchant group. When he regains full power, he will investigate Gong Soo-myung. But then, suddenly, a sharp pain pierces his head. In that instant, visions flood his mind. Memories of Lee Jin-young, invade him without warning. So that is what has been happening all along. Lee Jin-young, the first son of the wealthy Unhwa merchant group, was neither as clever as his second brother, nor as strong as his third. He was merely a deficient eldest son. He tried to make up for his shortcomings with money, but instead surrendered himself to a depraved life of pleasure. By the time he realized his mistakes and tried to return, it was already too late. Having neglected his health, he was sent away to this villa. If these memories are correct, then the main clan of his family would not care about this place of exile. At first, the challenge was inheriting the memories of this body after reincarnation. But now, he can finally concentrate on martial arts. To think that such an innately gifted body was wasted. With the knowledge of his past life and a few rare elixirs, he could reach high levels in no time. Then he remembers, Elixirs require money, and money is the one thing he has in abundance. There is nothing he cannot buy. For now, all that remains is to bury the original body. A year passes. Everything has changed. Someone greets him with a letter addressed to young master Li Hongyang. Where can he be found? This man is Mok In-shiop from the guard squad of the Manhwa merchant group in Hwamong. The girls quickly tell him where the young master is. When Mok sees him, he cannot believe it is the same person. Young master Li Hongyang? Several seasons have passed. During this time, his energy core has manifested, and into this body, he has engraved all the martial arts necessary for survival. The art of illuminated movement, the illuminated body technique, swift stride, and an art that allows him to command lightning, the 10 phases of white lightning art. So far, he has reached the 4th phase. All has gone smoothly, but he knows it is not enough. Even though he can shatter a blade with a single strike, he must grow stronger. Just then, he is called again. It has been a long time. Mok In-shiop of the guard squad has come, bringing a letter from the main clan. He hands it over, astonished at the transformation. Is this truly the same young master Jin Yong he once knew? Where is that weak, pathetic figure from before? The letter reveals that his father has collapsed and now lies bedridden. The leader of the Yunhua merchant group has fallen ill, and the message must be delivered to the young master. Yet it gives no details about the illness, nor its cause. He thinks immediately, it must be the doing of the Ouyang clan. Their group has been forced to pay so-called protection fees, which have piled up to unbearable levels. He clenches his fists. Did the Ouyang clan do anything to deserve raising the tribute so high? Nothing at all. These are dogs. Even when the Little Addiction sect once tried to impose ridiculous trade taxes, the Huyang clan responded by saying, "We only deal with the main clan of the Yunhua merchant group." And that was the end of it. They did absolutely nothing. Even his own captain of the guard could not protest, because the one involved was Ouyang-hu, a name well known in Yanghu. He is powerful enough that even Jin Yong has heard of him. To them, merchant groups like his must seem beneath notice. Does Ouyang-hu think their group is insignificant? If so, then it makes sense. If he deals with the Ouyang clan, everything will be resolved. But then, there is another crucial reason behind his father's collapse. A sword duel between the 2nd and 3rd young masters. Their father witnessed it and collapsed immediately afterward, surely from rage. He cannot believe they fought each other in front of the leader of the merchant group, and with swords no less. Still, they say he need not worry. His father will not die from this. Once it is resolved, everything will be fine. But Jin Yong interrupts. He cannot sit idly by while this happens. He will go himself. He rises from his seat. When he arrives, all are stunned. He is completely changed, transformed into a perfect martial artist. They exclaim at his incredible physique, surprising everyone, yet some burst out laughing. Young Master Jin Yong, a martial artist? Impossible. They mock him, calling him a useless wastrel, saying that if this disgrace is a martial artist, then they themselves must be legendary warriors. They laugh that claiming the sub-captain has a lover is more believable than Jin Yong being a fighter. But then the sub-captain himself steps forward, silencing them. Indeed, the young master has regained his health. This man is Han Job, captain of the Onwa merchant group's guard squad. He declares that young master Jin Yong has always had a strong body since childhood. Now, he asks, when does Jin Yong plan to return? The young master asks, but is not certain. He only knows that he will go himself. The young master has arrived, and to everyone's surprise, they must go and greet him. Some cannot believe they are expected to pay him respect, but they must not forget who puts food on their table. Complaining is useless. They move. When he arrives, the scene feels unreal. The Unhwa merchant group was something he had only ever heard about in stories, yet its true scale overwhelms him. Li Jinyong was not merely moderately wealthy, he was practically born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He dismisses the girls, telling them to go and rest, while he goes to see his father for a moment. Curiously, no one comes to welcome him. But then, warriors step forward, raising their swords, congratulating the young master on returning safe and sound. Among them is Han Job, sub-captain of the guard squad, who greets him warmly. Jin Yong is almost unrecognizable, healthy, radiant. Han Job is glad to see him looking well. Jin Yong cannot believe the sub-captain is treating him like this. The man who always belittled him now shows respect. Perhaps they only mean to mock him again. But no, he greets them sincerely, thanking them all. The others are stunned. That useless wastrel saluting them? They whisper, "He has changed, truly changed." Yet to Jin Yong, it feels almost like stepping into the home of strangers. Still, Hanjob is pleased. He no longer feels like an enemy, but rather like an ally. At the doorway, his father has already been informed of his visit. But just then, laughter echoes. Look who it is, the pervert Jin Yong! It is the third son of the Manhwa merchant group, Lee Han-yong. His expression alone makes him seem like an entirely different person, eyes filled with disdain. Things escalate quickly. Han-yong looks ready to strike him as soon as they meet again. The sub-captain stops his hand, reminding them that brothers should not fight, especially after so long apart. Yet Han-yong ignores it and swings anyway. What do you think you're doing? Touching my body without permission. Jin Yong snaps. As if it weren't enough to endure being treated as useless, now his younger brother dares to insult even the sub-captain. He vows to teach Han-yong a lesson, so he will never again dare look him in the eye. Han-yong reaches for his face. Jin Yong does not understand the gesture, but answers with a clean punch, making his brother cough blood to the shock of the captain. What is happening? Han-yong had been so eager to humiliate him, but now trembles as Jin Yong places a hand on his shoulder, flooding him with pain. You're insane! Han-yong spits. But how dare he call him mad? At this moment, he should be calling him elder brother. Meanwhile, another arrives. From within the residence, Lee Wang-yong, the second son of the Manhwa merchant group, approaches. The supervisor explains the disturbance, an argument between the first and third young masters. Surely the third provoked his elder brother once again, but why did no one stop it immediately? Wang-yong rushes to see his elder brother. Outside his father's chamber, he is stunned. The king of fists, standing there in the form of his brother, facing the others. He appears strong, well, and unbroken. It was the third son who struck me, Jin Yong says, showing his hand. But it is nothing. Wang-yong grows furious and slaps Han-yong, warning him never to raise his sword against his elder brother unless he wants a beating. Han-yong retreats, unwilling to suffer another blow. Everyone realizes Lee Jin-yong has struck back. Once so weak that anyone could torment him, now he has put Han-yong firmly in his place. Before, all he could do was dodge and endure, but now he can deliver punishment of his own. Wang-yong, calmer, asks whether anything unusual happened at the safe house. Jin-yong seems entirely different, transformed. The man has sharp eyes. He notices the change immediately. Among the documents, Jin-yong notices the employee list prepared for the conference tomorrow. His eyes narrow. He wanted to see who recommended Gong Soo-myung, but it seems unnecessary. From the sub-leader of the guard squad down to the gatekeepers, the recommender is written clearly. Oh-young-ju. Jin-yong immediately questions Wang-yong and Han-yong. Are either of you working with the Oh-yang clan? Tell me now. Both are shocked. No, they would never betray their family. It is unthinkable. They would sooner die than let another clan steal what their father built with such effort. Jin-yong relaxes slightly, satisfied. Good. Then I won't have to kill either of you. All the high officials will attend tomorrow's conference. In that case, he declares, he too shall attend. His brothers watch as he turns to go. Where is he headed now? But first, he goes to see his father. He does not know what truly happened at that safe house, though perhaps he should have gone to Hyunja Mountain instead. Emotion wells up, and he begins to weep. Word is sent to the leader of the Manhwa merchant group that the eldest son has arrived, and he is granted entry. This man is Lee Seo-min, the patriarch of the Manhwa merchant group. He asks what all the commotion outside was. Jin-yong replies it was nothing. He has heard that his father has been unwell from stress. Indeed, Lee Seo-min admits he has always suffered stress, but now his body can no longer endure it. Jin-yong has changed greatly and for the better. His face is different. The father looks at him and truly sees his son, Lee Jin-yong, and is glad to see him well. Yet Jin-yong finds it strange. Having grown up without parents, he never knew what it was like to have a father. But in the memories of Lee Jin-yong, his father was once a truly imposing figure. When did he become so small? He tells his father not to worry. All that is needed is to eliminate the cause of his stress. He will eliminate that cause. His father mustn't trouble himself further. But Lee Seo-min cannot believe it. Why is his son smiling in such a way? The next day, the conference of the Manhwa merchant group begins. Present is Oh-yang-ju, leader of the guard squad and martial master of the Oh-yang clan. Many are shocked to see the eldest son there. What is he doing in this place? But Ouyang-ju begins to laugh. He supposes Jin Young must be worried about his position within the group. Then he asks the assembly whether anyone objects. If not, they will continue. At once, a man from the clan raises his hand. He notes that the first young master still has no personal guard since his return. He has someone to recommend. Whispers erupt. Half of the Yunhua merchant group is already filled with people of the Ouyang clan. Do they not know when to stop? Jin Young suddenly tosses something. It slips from his hand, apparently a mistake. Then he asks if anyone has objections to the recommendation. Silence. If no one will speak, then he shall. Raising his hand, Jin Young declares he has a complaint and a suggestion of his own. A suggestion to dismiss the leader of the guard squad, Ouyang-hu. The hall gasps in shock. They cannot believe it. What kind of joke is this? Do they not know how deeply the leader of the guard squad has cared for the safety of the Yunhua merchant group? Do you want to dismiss me? Ouyang-hu sneers. You must have forgotten, lying in bed for so long, but that is not something you can decide. At that moment, Jin Young grows furious and delivers a devastating blow, shaking the entire chamber. Perhaps you forgot, now that you have gained some influence, but the Yunhua merchant group belongs to me. The sheer power in his strike leaves them stunned. But before we continue, let us recall how this all came to be. He intended to dismiss the captain of the guard, Ouyang-ju, which was why he attended the General Assembly. Honestly, they are just a merchant group, far below his league. Yet he reminds them, do you know what happens when one underestimates a martial artist of Hyangju? They get devoured, and those who assume otherwise are the first to be devoured. He is right. When did the Huyang clan grow so bold here? But he need not worry. His elder brother will handle everything. The others are stunned. Handle it? In such a way? But his brother has changed so much. Immediately, the men of the clan draw their swords. What is the meaning of this madness? This troublemaker has lost his mind. The sub-captain draws his own blade. Insolent wretches! How dare you raise your swords against the young master Li Jin-young? Fall back at once! A duel seems inevitable. And he is right. Such insolence cannot be forgiven. To unsheath blades against their employer makes them nothing but scum. So eager to die today, are you? Jin-young smirks. He almost pities the captain of the guard. Perhaps this will serve as a kind of repayment. After all, was it not he who sent Dr. Gong Soo-myung to assassinate him when he was sent away to recover at the safe house? It was he who stirred up conflict between the second and third brothers. With enmity sown among siblings, everything becomes easier. Thanks to that, their father collapsed. If only one son had fallen under his influence, the merchant group would already be his, without lifting a finger. Ouyang-hu laughs. Young Master Hyun, this is pure delusion. But then he hears the truth. Gong Soo-myung, the one sent to kill Jin Young, was slain by him instead. That was the turning point, the moment destiny began to change. You killed Gong Soo-myung? Ouyang-hu cannot believe it. Jin Young smiles. Do not grieve. I sent him to the next world with a single punch. If you wish to devour a merchant group, you should have tried harder. He even jests that perhaps he should file a claim for damages caused. Ouyang-hu snarls as Jin Young turns his back. Arrogant brat! Do you wish to die today? He lunges, but Jin Young meets him head-on. With his fist, he stops the attack cold. Ouyang-hu recoils. He cannot believe it. Lightning energy? When did he learn martial arts? Gasps erupt. The young master Jin Young himself blocked the strike of the captain of the guard. His recovery complete, he now reveals his strength. If this were an official duel, it might be one thing, but he is no mere novice. Ouyang-hu spits, You're as conceited as a chick that just learned to fly. He turns to the guard squad. With the witness of the Ouyang clan, and with young master Jin Young's consent, this shall proceed as an official duel. An official duel? Jin Young shakes his head. No, this will be a duel to the death. Ouyang-hu unsheathes his weapon. Young master Jin Young, it seems you've trained in some impressive sect. Your skills are decent, but I will show you the true difference between a novice and a seasoned warrior. He strikes, but Jin Young slips aside with ease. Experience, you say? In the same breath, he drives his fist forward, slamming into his opponent. You lack a century's worth of experience to even compare. With a thunderous blow, he sends him flying. I'll show you what true experience means. Ouyang-hu roars, surging forward with the illuminated movement technique, his blade flashing as he blocks strike after strike. Yet something is wrong. This does not feel like facing someone who has only just learned martial arts. It feels like dueling a veteran master. The onlookers cheer. They think the captain will end it now. He unleashes the three-form sword technique, certain of victory. But as he boasts, Jin Yong vanishes in a blur with swift stride, appearing beneath him in an instant. Farewell. With an explosive uppercut to the jaw, Jin Yong sends him soaring into the air, shocking the entire hall. None can believe what they see. He turns to the leader of the Manhwa merchant group. It seems something has happened. Your son has learned martial arts. Indeed, the captain of the guard lies defeated on the ground. All rush to tend to him. He's just a brat. And what now? Does he also want to kill us all? They mutter. But the duel of the young master Jin Yong had no irregularities. The witnesses have testified to that. However, from this moment on, if the Ouyang clan continues to demand vengeance through duels, the Manhwa merchant group will have no way to avoid it. And that's fine. Jin Yong never expected to be free of grudges. If shown kindness, he will repay it. If given enmity, he will return it in kind. And if anyone has a problem with that, the responsibility will be his alone, not the merchant group's. But he also knows this is far too dangerous. The Manhwa merchant group is not only his, it is his father's as well. It belongs to the guard squad that welcomed him back in the dead of night. And it belongs to the stable boys who cheer simply because they see him eat. So yes, this merchant group is mine. He will never allow himself to be manipulated by scum like them. If you understand, he declares, then get lost. You are all dismissed. Everyone is stunned. They cannot believe it, but no one dares to speak. Silently, they withdraw. The hall is shaken. The young master Jin Yong has truly won. Yet the captain silences the cheers. There is nothing to celebrate. As guards, they should be ashamed for standing idle until now. Still, he calls the administrator, ordering that the young master be given the best elixir they can acquire. The maids are delighted. He said he would take responsibility, and now that he has won, he deserves their full support. They will prepare the finest tonic available. From now on, he will be busy, purchasing elixirs, hiring new guards. And as for the guard squad, he already has certain people in mind. Elsewhere, someone whispers, "Was that really Lee Hung-jun?" Only days ago, on his first day returning to the merchant group, Eunjung had been walking with him. His captain asked if he had eaten, but he had already been working since dawn. Yet what they saw instead were soldiers laughing idly. Some have no time to eat because of their duties, while others laze about during work hours. They live too easily, feeding on the money of others. Such leeches ought to be eradicated. But there is a problem. Someone must take their place. And so, they head to a place where men go to gamble and pass the time, smoking cigars, drinking, indulging themselves. Upon arrival, our protagonist recognizes a familiar face. That wretch. It is the young master of the Manhwa merchant group, Lee Han-young. Behind his back, voices sneer. We thought he was dead. We hadn't seen him in ages. How much money will he waste this time? When he steps in, they greet him mockingly. Young master! Long time no see. Back to being an idiot again? Come to make another generous offer for us. One reaches out, but Jin Yong warns, do not touch me, or you'll stain me with your greasy hands. They cannot believe the nerve, the audacity to speak this way. Standing face to face, he looks healthier than ever. Clearly his recovery did him good. Well, the poisonous fox himself, sneers Chul Myung-gok. Long time no see. By his side are the insensitive twins, Yuk Jinbo and Yuk Moonbok. A true friend would have shown concern for his illness, yet these so-called friends show none. Instead, their friendship has always been one-sided, built on violence and extortion. Perhaps the definition of friendship among today's young masters has grown twisted. Chul Myung-gok laughs. After all this time, you finally return to enjoy yourself. You must be eager for action after recovering. In truth, it is he who is eager. He has had no one to squeeze money from. To celebrate the return of the young master of the Manhwa merchant group, he declares, Lee Jin Yong will surely treat them to something grand. But Jin Yong remains silent, and the fox grows irritated. What is he thinking? Is he considering killing me? The truth is, Jin Yong has no need for Chul Myung-gok himself. The valuable ones are the twins, Yuk Jinbo and Yuk Moonbok. They have lived as lackeys under his command, but they are far too useful to be wasted. The King of Fists has decided. First, he demands the key to the vault. Chul Myung-gok bursts into laughter. The vault key? What stupidity is this? Do you want money? Yes, Jin Yong replies coldly. Cash will do for now. The thousands of nyang you forced me to invest in this gambling den, the interest, the extorted funds, the medical bills for the beatings you gave me, Altogether, 100,000 yang would be fair. Chul Myung-gok laughs louder. So little Jin Young studied arithmetic during his recovery? Fool. Do you think the vault holds only a mere 100,000? There are also gold and silver jewels, sneers Chul Myung-gok, but none of that is for you. If you need money, all you have to do is ask. I would lend it to you. Why suddenly demand the key to the vault? And why have you been ignoring me all this time? You act delicate just because you were a patient, and now you put on airs, demanding keys and pretending I don't exist. Remember who you're dealing with? I am Chul Myung-gok. But Jin Young only smirks. He knows exactly what this fox is up to. When Chul pats him mockingly on the face, it is nothing less than a desire for death. Cat got your tongue? Then perhaps a beating will set your head straight. The twins move in to grab him, but the moment they do, they realize something is wrong. Even when he bothered to be polite, his strength was restrained. Now, with one motion, he seizes one of them and hurls him away. The other brother charges, but Jin Young evades easily, striking with a kick that sends him crashing to the ground. Leg broken, body ruined. Yet still, even with their wrists and ankles shattered, there is not a trace of fear in their eyes. They truly are the best ones here. They rise again, hurling themselves at him. He slips past their movements, and in an instant, he is behind them. They cannot even tell where he's gone. Just as he expected, they are far too valuable to let rot under Chul Myung-gok's thumb. He slams their heads together and pins them down. Stay still. I won't repeat the warning. Now all that remains is the vault key. Chul is in disbelief. Surely he must be next. His dear friend is stunned. So you studied martial arts during your recovery instead of arithmetic? You should have said so earlier. But my little Jin Young was always sharp. Why not speak up? His words tremble. He is afraid. What are you afraid of? Jin Young asks coldly. You still think I'm the same weakling? The first to strike wins, and you've always been a fool. Chul shouts and flips the table between them, trying to use it as a barrier. But Jin Young smashes it with his fist, grabs his head, and snarls. The counterattack wins. You're filth. With a surge of lightning energy, he shocks him with a crackling discharge. Sparks fly. Someone is going to die here. Chul collapses to the ground, trembling, panicked. Control yourself. Tell me, what the hell did you do while you were away? You lied. You must have gone to some sect to train. Was all this just to take revenge on me? His thoughts spiral. Yes, it must be vengeance. That's the only reason he acts this way. Chul gasps. If it's the key you want, or anything else, just ask. Anything. We've been friends since childhood. We're like brothers. Jin Young smirks. Yes, friends. That's the spirit, Chul says quickly, rushing to embrace him. That's what friends are for. From now on, I'll never hit you again, never extort you. We're brothers, right? Let go, Jin Young says, disgusted. But Chul clings to him, ordering the twins. Bow to him immediately. From now on, treat him as your elder brother. Congratulate him, he's changed. The twins obey reluctantly, praising his strength. Chul beams. See? We're all friends now. Brothers, that's how friends behave, wagging their tails when it suits them. But Jin Young only glares. The truth is clear. Chul Myung-gok has been using these naive boys as tools. Such treatment is unforgivable. From this moment on, he will care for them properly, as they deserve. Chul sneers. Take all the money if you want. You've beaten me for no reason, and now you want to steal my brothers too? Fine. Then kill me. Kill you? Jin Young answers coldly. As you wish. With a savage kick, he sends Chul sprawling. Blow after blow rains down, each one heavier than the last. Chul panics. Is he really going to kill me? Am I truly going to die here? I'll give it to you. Chul screams. The key? I'll give you the vault key. Please, spare my life. He begs desperately, groveling for mercy. But Jin Young only laughs. If we're friends, then you should use honorifics when you speak to me. And with that, he seizes him and hurls him far across the room. The twins watch in shock. This is a joke, right? He's gone completely mad. Their elder brother lies beaten, humiliated, defeated utterly. Chul Myung-gok coughs blood, staring up at Jin Young. I lost. Yes? From now on, you will serve Jin Young as your elder brother. What nonsense. It is so humiliating that some nearly burst into tears. Still, they admit, it is better to be in the Manhwa merchant group than to rot in a place like this gambling den. Jin Young, despite everything, has grown attached to them. They have followed him faithfully, and he understands. He thanks them all for looking after him. But those bald-headed scoundrels have no heart. Truly, the ancestors were right when they said, never raise a beast with black hair. They were not wrong at all. At that moment, voices ring out. Isn't that Jormungand, the walking corpse? Where are the twins that always follow him? Without them, perhaps he can finally be defeated. As he walks, thugs block his path. All you fools, living comfortably in your dens, that madman Myungok is nothing. Come for me if you have the guts. They curse at him, and at once, they rush to kill him. He's truly going to die, they think. Could he not be a bit more lenient? But then, a fist flashes forward, and all of them are sent flying. Those who once would not even dare look him in the eye now hurl themselves against him, as if he were no longer a god among men. If you wanted to eliminate me, Jin-young says coldly, you should have done it while I was weak. Now it's too late. Fools. The cowards scatter. Take anything useful, their leader shouts. This bastard is just acting cool. How annoying. With no other choice, they retreat. They thank Jin-young for sparing Myungok's life. He says nothing, watching them leave. Everyone who frequented this gambling den must have wondered why the twins followed Chul Myungok for so long. Some said they had been sold into slavery. Others said they stayed out of fear. Even Jin-young once thought so. But no, they were never slaves, nor did they follow him out of fear. Even in this second life, it is hard to see what truly lies inside a person. From the shadows, a figure watches. Unbelievable. That's really Lee Jin-young. We shift back to the Yunhwa merchant group. Since Jin-young's return, there has not been a single day of peace. Just the other day, he brought back a mountain of money and 2 towering men at his side. No one liked it one bit. But something else arrives as well. Wagons full of supplies. Careful with those, someone warns. That cargo is too important to mishandle. His second brother, Lee Wang-yong, asks him, what is all this? So many things. Even rare elixirs, the kind that can only be obtained by lining up at dawn. But he ordered them, one whispers. Their father emerges. Father, it's too soon for you to be out. You could relapse. But Lee Xiaoman insists he feels much better. The third son, Lee Han-yong, asks what Jin-young plans to do with so many rare elixirs. Lee Han only asked for one, but you bought dozens. Surely you also bought some for us? But no, every single one is for his elder brother. Han-yong is crushed. He cannot believe it. All for him? If you think a single elixir can change destiny, Jin-young replies, then you underestimate what our family has gained from the Huyan clan and the guard squad. This much is not excessive at all. He has already sent letters to branch leaders, to old friends, and to respected magnates. He has told them they are stockpiling high-quality elixirs to handle the guild's crisis. If the guild falls, they too will lose everything, so they will take the warning seriously. It was a mistake to accept Yang-hu as a sponsor, he says. This is only damage control. Everyone agrees. It is an excellent decision. The young master will surely become a martial artist now. Of course, your brother is incredible. As guild treasurer, I say this is a wise move. Trust him. Their father beams. Wonderful. This is exactly what we need. It is time to invest the earnings of a lifetime. But Han-yong cannot accept it. He bursts into tears. And what about me? Why isn't there an elixir for me? Jin-young answers coldly. Do you really need one? You've only just begun training your sword. Why would we waste an elixir on you? You're favoring him. Han-yong rages. Fools! He just got lucky, that bastard. But at that moment, another scene unfolds. Jin-young is running past, a massive stone strapped to his back, weighted bags tied to his legs. He looks like Rock Lee from Naruto, a lunatic. Training so hard, he is almost unrecognizable. While Han-yong simply collapses in exhaustion, Jin-young continues relentlessly. Suddenly, Yang-ju strikes with his sword, attacking Jin-young. But Jin-young reacts as if he had expected it, closing the distance instantly and delivering a crushing punch. He continues training, undeterred. Han-yong seethes. That fool doesn't even feel the same anymore. Impossible! Then Jin-young appears right before him, startling him. What are you doing here? Han-yong asks nervously. I was out training, Jin-young replies calmly. But now, let's review what has happened. Do it properly. He has to try, imitating it with his sword. He was following quite well the final form of Yang-ho's technique. Jin-young cannot believe his brother had been watching so closely. Picking up the blade, he attempts the move. It wasn't bad. Yes, it was only half a thrust, but even Yang-ho had once performed it the same way. Han-yong feels insulted, but regardless, he launches an attack. Jin-young blocks it with his sword. The scabbard shatters. Unbelievable. Closing the distance, Han-yong is too busy defending to know what to do. Panic rises, and he starts to retreat. Wait! "Why are you acting this way? Talk to me," he cries. But Jin-young ignores him, calm and focused. Han-young snarls, grips his sword, and lunges again. Yet his brother vanishes from that spot, reappearing behind him. When a man loses initiative and finds himself cornered, he will draw his trump card. Han-young does just that, unleashing his decisive strike. But the blow does not land. Jin-young merely stops in place, unharmed. In that moment, Han-young realizes he had been a breath away from death. The thrust has even less chance of success than a slash. The triple sword technique of Ouyang-ho is a lethal one-strike art. To execute it requires absolute precision, even before the blade is fully drawn. If someone can move faster than that fleeting instant, the outcome is already decided. Unbelievable. Truly, if this were his past life as the King of Fists, he would never have given a man like Ouyang-ho the chance to even draw his sword. Yet his current body is only half as strong as when he was the King of Fists. He cannot allow himself to be satisfied with merely matching someone like Ouyang-ju. Even as King of Fists, there were those he could not overcome. This cannot continue. He must become stronger than ever before, beyond all comparison. At that moment, a servant informs the young master that a guest has arrived. Jin-young understands immediately and goes to meet them. Before leaving, he gives his brother a light tap. "Keep practicing. You're still an idiot." A man appeared, doubting the rumors that Lee Jin-young had begun practicing martial arts. To him, it was laughable. Jin-young was nothing more than a spoiled young master who wasted his days on women and wine. He even swore he had seen him staggering drunk outside Choi Min-hyung's gambling den, vomiting before disappearing into the night. But reality was far harsher than the rumors. That man was Yusil Yi of the Sama sect, and he had come here to see for himself. The grand doors opened, and sharp, intimidating gazes pierced the room before the doors shut again. Could it truly be him? Some whispered that perhaps Jin-young was just a newly adopted guildmaster. Others thought they were hallucinating from too much drink. But no, this was indeed the once carefree young master, Lee Jin-young, now radiating a completely different aura. Inside, Jin-young called for the twin escorts to join him. He ordered the largest dishes to be served, but the twins hesitated outside, trembling, begging to be saved. Soon after, his so-called friends arrived, the infamous four drunkards, scoundrels known for living for women and dying for liquor. Sama Jok, aspirant of the Martial Alliance. Wu Warian, a failed exam candidate with a frail body. Wu Guan, late heir of the West Wind Escort Agency. And Ling Jun of the Unhwa Guild, a notorious troublemaker. Together, they had always been nothing but rowdy companions, chasing women and drinking without end. Jin-young remembered them clearly through the body's memories. They had once been called the Four Bastard Brothers. Hearing of his return, they came to see if he was well. And to their shock, he was far more than well. His entire being overflowed with strength. They whispered among themselves, unable to believe it. What had he been doing during his retreat? This was not the result of mere training. This was martial arts. Rumors spread that he had defeated Ouyang-ju. Who could have taught him? Did he have a fateful encounter? Perhaps destiny had finally smiled upon him. Once branded a disappointment, he now stood as something entirely different. And when he revealed the truth, that his enemy was already dead, they could not hide their shock. They asked what he planned to do next. Jin-young answered coldly he would target the demonic cult, for he had unfinished business with their branch. While overseeing the guild, his only goal was to become stronger. His friends muttered in disbelief. Was this really the same man they knew? Was he truly going into seclusion, or was this exile disguised as training? Some thought his father must have been deeply disappointed, but Jin-young only smiled. Perhaps for him, this was what he needed all along: rest, study, and a chance to change for the better. They congratulated him, admitting he had truly changed. Such a transformation was worthy of celebration. Jokingly, one said they should have kidnapped him before his retreat, while another laughed about the times he passed out drunk. For the first time, Jin-young realized perhaps he did have a few real friends. But while he had changed, they had not. They were still the same reckless men. If change were so easy, they said, we wouldn't be who we are. So they chose not to speak of it further, and instead they drank together once more. Everyone had once thought themselves big fish in a small pond, but without realizing it, one among them had left the pond entirely, stepping into the vast world. When the day ended, they offered their help, telling him to train hard so he wouldn't be beaten. As they left, they couldn't believe it. The most hopeless of them all had been the first to truly grow. That night, Jin Yong felt the sting of loneliness. For a moment, he considered the brothel, but instead, he chose to return home. Meanwhile, in the house of sandalwood fragrance, news spread quickly. What happened? Yang is dead? The one speaking was Young Han, leader of the minor immortal sect and heir to the Yunjiang Guild. He confirmed that Jin Yong had indeed defeated the captain in less than 30 moves. But more than his skill, it was the aura that unsettled him, the aura of death itself. They questioned what weapon he used. The answer came: his fists. What? A swordsman losing to a brat who fought barehanded? A disgrace. Then what of vengeance? Someone asked. How could there be vengeance for a fair duel? We are not street thugs. We are comrades. But what about honor? At that, Young Han's eyes turned cold. In an instant, he struck, blasting his companion's head apart. Who remains a friend to a corpse, he muttered. Dispose of him, and forgive me, for your beloved. The night's drinking turned sour, and they withdrew, unsettled. Word spread quickly. Hua Merchant Guild had refused to pay tribute, and Ouyang Hu had been eliminated. How should this be taken? Did it mean they no longer considered the minor immortal sect a threat? As expected, this was a serious problem. Some asked if they should strike back, but cooler heads reminded them they were not street thugs or criminals. They could not simply go around killing people. Still, the question hung heavy. What would happen next? Even after witnessing their friend's transformation, the so-called brothers remained pitiful, only raising a toast before stumbling back to their vices. But for Jin Yong, the time for hesitation was over. The merchant guild was his father's, his men's, even the stable boys who cheered when he ate. He would never let it be devoured by corrupt clans. Meanwhile, shadows whispered that the guild leader, old Li Xiaomin, was a sly fox, far richer than he let on. And what of the guild's successor? How much was he worth? Their greedy eyes were already fixed on Jin Yong. Anger surged within him. With Ouyang dead, his family's security was fragile, and now the guild had sought aid from the minor immortal sect. But he remembered clearly. Mok Insiop had warned that the sect had always planned to betray them, hand in hand with the Ouyang clan. Where were those cowards now? Likely back in their base, waiting. Without hesitation, Jin Yong prepared to move. The Martial Alliance aspirant would guide him to the enemy's stronghold. Just the two of you? Against the whole sect? Someone stammered. But Jin Yong only smirked. They arrived at the base of the minor immortal sect. Guards stood everywhere, the fortress crawling with watchful eyes. His guide trembled. This is madness. What's your plan? How do you intend to enter? My plan, Jin Yong said coldly. Smash the front gate. For this was the way of Dan Gunsu, the king of fists. Since childhood, he had never avoided a fight, whether as an orphan wandering Hyangju or when he rose by sheer power to claim the title of King of Fists. Wherever he walked, battle followed, and he welcomed it. Step by step, he entered. Where is your leader? He demanded. Murmurs rippled. What fool dared storm in and spout nonsense? But before they could act, he snapped a man's neck, his voice like thunder. I won't repeat myself. Where is your leader? Fury erupted, and the sect's men drew their weapons, rushing in. But then a voice rang out from the hall. Who dares cause such noise? Who is this young man? He's a killer, they shouted. The figure stepped forward. It was the sect's master himself. An assassin, entering through the main gate? Who in the hell are you? But as his eyes fell on Jin Yong's bare fists, he recalled the rumors. A swordsman had fallen to fists alone. Could this truly be the young master of the Yunhua Guild? So it's you? He smirked. I didn't expect someone of your standing to come personally. In that case, I'll make full use of this opportunity. Capture him! It had been a long time since Jin Yong fought against many at once. His current body was not as strong as when he was King of Fists, but this would be more than enough. Excitement burned in his veins. They swarmed him. He met them head-on. To him, they were nothing but straw dummies. One by one they fell, and panic spread. He fought with nothing but his fists. Who is this man? He's a monster! Then, danger. He felt it just in time, twisting as a blade sliced across his cheek. The attacker grinned, eager to flaunt his weapon. Jin Yong only laughed. What's wrong? Surprised? As a distinguished guest, I'll make an exception for you. The sect's men closed in, grappling his limbs to hold him still. At this rate, he'll be killed, someone gasped. Arrows rained down, a storm of steel, even if it meant striking their own disciples. Such treachery was despised even in the underworld. Jin Yong, a voice cried out. His ally hurled him a blade. He caught it midair, spinning it with a flick of his wrist. With a single sweep, he deflected every arrow, scattering them to the ground. The hall erupted in disbelief. All of them, deflected with just a dagger? Jin Yong's eyes narrowed, and he steadied the dagger in his hand. I don't usually use blades, but for you, I'll make an exception. In a flash, he struck the edge grazing his enemy's throat. A warning. That was only a small cut. They called him a reckless fool, but what were they waiting for? The entire sect rushed to eliminate him. Yet in the next instant, our protagonist leapt into action. His specialty was his fists, and with devastating power, he charged forward. Grabbing the young woman, he shielded her in his arms, and with one strike, he shattered the hall itself. Get back, he told her firmly. The enemy staggered in disbelief. Who is this man? The young master of the Yunhua Merchant Guild should have been nothing more than a pampered youth. Yet the way he fights is no different from that of a seasoned veteran. The sect leader trembled, trying to speak. Wait, I've saved plenty of money. If you spare me, I'll pay you generously. No stinginess, I promise. But Jin Yong slammed his face into the ground. You're the leader of a sect, and all you see in human life is coin? I don't need it. Keep it. His fists rained down mercilessly, crushing his enemy's body blow after blow. Bones cracked, the chest caved in, and with disgust, he finished him. The sect leader was no more. By morning, they returned home with the rescued girl. Someone asked Jin Yong if he would escort her himself, but he waved it off. He had another path to take. Another man offered to guide her safely, and Jin Yong kept walking. He looked at one of the bystanders. You're Samayok, aren't you? The man froze. How did you know? I've seen you often at the House of Sweet Fragrance, and more than that, you're close to Jin Yong. That makes it obvious. The man bowed in thanks. For what you did today, I'll send you the finest bottle of wine if you ever visit us again. But Jin Yong only shook his head. I didn't do it for that. And besides, I won't be going back to brothels anymore. Samayok sighed. You really have changed, and if that's so, then maybe I should change my ways too. If my friend has grown so much, then it's time I do the same. Back at the guild, his brothers were feasting. Eat what you want, Jin Yong told them. If you're hungry, don't hesitate. In this merchant guild, you can eat 7 meals a day if you wish. The young ones marveled, truly impressive, but then he noticed his elder brother's wounds. What happened? Were you attacked? Not particularly, came the reply. But to think you could shake me to my core with a single strike, that never even happened in my previous life. Jin Yong clenched his fists. If he was to protect the merchant guild and prepare for the threats of the demonic faction, he needed more than ordinary training. He needed to become stronger, much stronger. Not long after, they tell the young master that a delivery has arrived for him. Not 1, but 2 gifts. He hadn't expected anything. The first one is a letter coming from Guan. After parting ways, Guan had stopped by a tavern and only drank a single cup. Wasn't that already a great improvement? An event worthy of being recorded in the Jianghu Chronicles. Originally, Guan had meant to deliver something his father had asked him to pass along, but he got distracted and left without remembering. Now he sends it saying, I'll leave it with you when you return home. You must become stronger and one day protect my escort agency. Inside the box is a treasure. Bellflower roots of 100 years, but these seem to be nearly 500 years old. If he's lucky, they could help raise his White Lightning martial art of 10 phases up to the 5th phase. Indeed, this is what it means to have good friends. But there's also a second box. This one is from Li Xiaoming, a gift of immense trust and friendship from the great Teho Merchant Guild. The Teho Guild is among the wealthiest across the Central Plains. His father must also have asked them for aid, but he hadn't expected such genuine concern. Opening it, his eyes widen. Inside is none other than the essence of azurite. The essence of azurite, a dream elixir, sought after by every martial artist. Among treasures of its kind, only the natural wine vine, the moonflower, or the 10,000-year ginseng could compare. All of them are rare beyond belief. Without question, this is the legendary essence of azurite. Even in his past life, he had only ever tasted a few drops. How could a merchant, one who does not even walk in Jianghu, manage to obtain something like this? Li Xiaoming instructs him, take 1 drop each day and begin circulating your energy. His friends will guard his room outside. This treasure is too valuable to lose. He asks himself if it's truly worth that much. But the leader of the Teho Merchant Guild had prepared a stockpile of such things just for him. He cannot believe it. Money really is incredible. 2 hours later, he sits in meditation, channeling the essence. Its taste is bitter, without fragrance, resembling martial cultivation itself, a painful, flavorless process. His body starts to heat up. If he still had his previous body, it would have melted already, but fortunately, this vessel has adapted. Yet suddenly, he feels an unnatural pressure, a burning pain consuming his body. Suppressing it only makes it wilder. He has no choice but to crush it head-on. Aura bursts out of him, his consciousness fading. But when he glances at his fingers, he knows. He has reached the 5th phase. Still, there's a problem. This body reeks of alcohol. Even his sweat and waste carry the smell. He bids farewell to the remnants of the old Li Ji Hun. The true issue now is the essence of azurite. Absorbing it is like putting a fragile clay cup made of wet sand into a blazing furnace. The vessel might shatter, but if he endures, it will be the greatest blessing he could gain. This must be the spiritual energy of the essence itself, testing him. He should have suppressed his greed, yet he charges forward anyway. If he overcomes this, he will emerge even stronger. 7 days later, a full week has passed since Hyun began circulating energy. There's been no sign of life inside his room, and worry begins to grow. His brothers stand guard when the chief administrator arrives, asking if the young master has returned. They explain no one was allowed near his chambers. Suddenly, a thunderous explosion rocks the area. From within, Hyun appears, cloaked in an overwhelming aura, his body reeking of a foul odor. Could this be the feared deviation of energy? They rush in, alarmed. He collapses, but moments later, he rises again, saying he only feels unbearably hot. He steps outside, not wanting them to follow. The sky is clear, yet he feels like he's burning alive. His immature body cannot yet harmonize fully with the power inside. It boils and roars uncontrollably. If this continues, not just the guild but the entire street could be destroyed. He runs as far as he can until he reaches a mountain. At last, unable to endure, he decides, if he cannot absorb it, he must release it. His roar shakes the heavens, and thunderstorms erupt from the ground itself. The first lightning bolts explode upward, shocking the people below. Never had they seen lightning rise from earth to sky. Rain pours down, energy floods the land. The white lightning art of 10 phases has now reached the 8th phase. He walks down the street, half naked, and people whisper that at the very least, he should buy some clothes. So he enters a shop and asks for something to wear. When he tries to pay, the shopkeeper waves his hand. No payment needed. Ever since he crushed those fools from the Ouyang clan and the minor immortal sect, the city has been safer. Fewer thugs, fewer fights. Parents can now bring their children to shop in peace. This is simply their way of thanking him. They even insist he take an umbrella, since it's still pouring outside. He accepts with a smile and steps back into the rain. For the first time in a long while, the city feels peaceful. In the past, he never cared what state the streets were left in after his battles. But now, after defeating those enemies, the quiet feels almost beautiful. This sense of calm isn't bad at all. But suddenly, shouts break the stillness. Soldiers yell that they must catch that bastard. He cannot be allowed to escape. Once again, trouble comes looking for him. Rain or shine, his life is always a storm. Meanwhile, far away at the Moyang clan, the long-awaited assembly of emperors begins. Patriarchs from across the land have gathered. Moyang Bin has done well organizing such a meeting. Among them is Doko Myeonyeon of the Doko clan and Ouyang Jang of the Ouyang clan. He reports grim news. Ouyang Hu, one of their most seasoned martial masters, lost a duel against someone from the merchant guild and died. The hall erupts in laughter. Nangong Wu, patriarch of the Nangong clan and hailed as the world's strongest swordsman, mocks the fallen Ouyang. To him, it's funnier than a clown's show. That fool Ouyang Hu had already been half cast out from his clan. But now, the elders whisper, it may be time to show that arrogant merchant brat the true strength of the Ouyang family. While they discuss, a new problem appears. Thugs from the infamous Ripper Alliance. The most feared underground gang barge into the district. Recently, they've been trying to seize control of the central auction houses. When a merchant went to check the ledgers, he found those bastards had stolen it right from under them. One of the elders, hands still healing from past injuries, confronts them. He tells the gang they're not from this area, so they should leave before it gets ugly. Once his hands recover fully, he'll deal with them himself. But for now, they should disappear. The gang bursts into laughter. Do you even know who we are? One sneers. Their arrogance fills the air. But before he can finish, the young warrior steps forward. With one devastating punch, he smashes the thug's face and sends him flying. Calmly, he warns the rest. I'm starving. If you fight me, I'll kill you all right here. Leave now, while I'm still being merciful. Next time, you won't be so lucky. Shaken, the gang retreats. He then turns to his companions and tells them to buy him food. That day, he hadn't been close to death in battle. He was simply dying of hunger. Since ancient times, food has been the foundation of survival in the Central Plains. At the restaurant, he devours everything like a man possessed. In the past, he used to peck at meals like a bird. Now, it's as if a sect of beggars has set up shop inside his stomach. People whisper he's changed again. Too much, too fast. But he doesn't care. He orders 2 more bowls without hesitation. His brothers ask about the twins. They're fine, just training hard. Surely they've grown stronger by now, though the cost of feeding them is enormous. They whisper, those guys weren't even human. They were floating spirits. But then again, he's rich, so maybe it doesn't matter. Curious, one of them asks how proper martial arts are really learned. The boy smirks. Why do you want to know? He admits he's just wondering. If he learned martial arts, could he one day face Chris on Raper, the leader of those thugs from earlier? That man commands dozens of subordinates who swarm like bees whenever they fight. Do you want me to teach you? He asks. The boy nods eagerly. I'd be grateful if you did. But the master's eyes turn sharp. Will you follow exactly what I say? Of course, the boy replies quickly. Then comes the first command. Bow to me. Right now. The boy hesitates. What? Bow? That's humiliating. Doesn't he know who he is? He's the so-called venomous fox, Chul Minho. But in the end, he swallows his pride. If this man won't teach him, he'll make a scene in front of the Manhwa Merchant Guild. So he kneels down, bowing low in the rain. But instead of praise, a strike comes out of nowhere. What was that? He's stunned. He bowed, and now he's been smacked? The master holds out the umbrella. Shut your mouth. Take this umbrella in one hand. The gift I received today, I can't give it to you, but you'll borrow it. Confused, Chul Minho grips the handle. You'll repeat the move I just showed you 100,000 times. Then you'll return it. 100,000! He stares in disbelief. Surely this man is just toying with him. But the master's voice is cold. If you can't, then leave the umbrella here and give up martial arts. Fury flashes across his face. Grabbing the man by the collar, he snarls. You think swinging this umbrella like a child's toy could kill someone? But the master doesn't flinch. If you had swung it 100,000 times, you could have cut down half those thugs with just a wooden sword. Instead, you ran, like a cowardly fox. If you want to live so pitifully, you might as well die. The words cut deeper than any blade. Are you a rat? Or the venomous fox you claim to be? Rain stops. Silence falls. With no reply left in him, Chul Minho shoves the umbrella back, muttering curses, and retreats from the place. As he leaves, his so-called friend smirks. He'll pay for what he owes, and maybe, just maybe, he'll really start training this time. He remembers the promise. I'll come find you. A promise should be kept. Meanwhile, others kneel before him, trembling. They beg to explain why he let Chen Minhyang walk away alive. And now the truth of what really happened is about to be revealed.